Welcome to Lesson 3 in Unit 12, Exploring Earth. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, what else do we know about these early explorers? In this lesson, students continue to research the early explorer groups. They make observations of instruments used by each group and how some of the instruments are still used today. They make a model of a lyre to investigate how sound travels. Students figure out the three early explorer groups each had a different type of instrument. The vibrating strings on a lyre make sound, and that sound is made from vibrations. Students make connections to the storyline by researching other components of early explorer group life. There are several opportunities for ELA cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 12 Teacher Guide. This lesson will take approximately 4 days to complete. For the Engage portion of the lesson, you'll start by asking students what they already know about early explorer groups and what else they might want to know. You'll tell them that they are going to look at some instruments that these explorers used. You'll display the musical instrument images and have students turn and talk with a partner to make predictions on how each instrument was used to make sound. You'll play a video and ask students what they notice and wonder about the instruments they've seen. You'll revisit the driving question board. You can add any new questions and highlight others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about the life and culture of early explorers, or music used by early explorers. For the Explore portion, you'll put students into groups and provide them with enough materials to make their own lyre to take home. Be sure to see the teacher tutorial for this activity, linked in the teacher guide. Once the lyres are made, you'll have students pluck the different lyre strings and make observations about how they move and how they make sound on the Lyre Models Student Journal page. In the Explain portion of the lesson, students will engage in a class discussion. You'll invite them to gather and analyze their observations around the lyre activity. You'll use the provided questions to guide the discussion around what else do we know about these early explorers? The goal of this class discussion is to analyze the different instruments early explorers used. Students will think about how their lyres made sound. Use the discussion to create the Lesson 3 summary chart. From the discussion, students should understand that each early explorer group used instruments, and all of the instruments vibrated to make sound. During the discussion, you can post and discuss the volume and pitch vocabulary cards. During the Explore, you can take slow motion videos of students playing their lyre strings and then play the videos during the Explain portion. You can also use the video provided in the curriculum slides. You can post and discuss the Vibrate vocabulary card. This lesson has a second Explore portion, in which you'll set up the sound vibration demo. There is a teacher tutorial for this activity linked in the teacher guide. You'll have students watch and discuss how the tuning fork creates sound and how we can see the vibrations in the water. You'll then continue your summary chart discussion. For the Elaborate portion of the lesson, you'll display other musical instruments being played in a few videos. You'll have students turn and talk with a partner to make observations on how each instrument was played. You'll ask students some more questions about the instruments and complete the discussion. For the Evaluate portion, you'll show a xylophone and ask students some questions, then have them work in pairs to collaboratively complete the transfer task using the Vibrations Quick Check Student Journal page. To support student sense-making across the unit, orient students back to the driving question board. Ask, did we answer any of the questions on our driving question board? And what have we learned about who the early explorers were? If there are questions that have been answered, Remove them from the driving question board and place them on the summary charts. You'll use this as an opportunity to answer the section driving question. Who were the early explorers? Be sure to see the noted opportunity to attend to equity. You can have students use the self-check form to evaluate their own learning in this section. This is an instructional tool that can be used as a metacognitive practice for students to reflect on their learning, express their engagement or excitement levels for the topics they have learned so far, and reflect on their science identities and community. By the end of this lesson, students will have developed a model of an instrument used by early explorers, and investigated how the instrument uses vibrations to make sound. In Lesson 4, students will look at where these early explorer groups went around the world. For the optional Extend portion, you can provide students with simple materials to make models of other instruments. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.